Hello, everyone. We're going to get started now. Do you feel like you're confident and you can do any kind of writing assignment that comes your way? Or do you get nervous about your writing assignments? Or maybe you're somewhere in between today? Well, I want you to stay with me because today I'm going to show you 10 tips that are going to take you from wherever you are right now with your writing to being an excellent academic writer. And in fact, even if you just take a few of these tips, you'll find a huge impact on your writing. But before we get started, I'm Suzanne Davis, and I'm an online academic writing tutor. And I help college students and graduate students learn the writing skills they need to excel in college. That's really my passion. It's what I'm committed to. And it's why I love teaching academic writing over anything else. So before we get started, just come in and please say hello. And also, feel free to ask questions as I'm going through these tips. If any sound confusing or you want to know more information, please just ask that in the chat. And then I'll also have time at the end for you to ask some questions too. So are you ready to get started today with those 10 fabulous tips? Okay, let's get going. So tip number 1 is to set measurable writing goals. So what you want to do is to find a goal that you can accomplish by a certain amount of time. So with setting a measurable writing goal, this could be something as simple as a word count. You're going to reach a certain amount of words by the end of the day. Or it could be something where you're looking at your writing project and you're planning to complete a piece of that project and you want to schedule it by a certain date. So for example, if you're working on research and you figure out in your mind it's going to take you 3 days to do your research and to take all of your notes and get them organized. So you would look at your schedule and then you would plan for that goal to be completed by a certain date. And what happens is that you get confident each time you reach one of those small goals. And it builds momentum and it builds confidence. And it's this great way to see, oh, I am doing all of this and I'm so much farther on my project than I thought I was before. It's a really great confidence booster. So go ahead and set those goals. Another important tip, and you don't hear this one very often, but it's to visualize writing a great paper. So think in your mind, how is it going to feel when you write a great paper? How is it going to look like when you hand in a great paper? What are you going to see? What do you see when you get your paper back? Do you see an A+ at the top of your paper? Create a positive vision, because that positive vision is something you're going to recall and use throughout doing your writing project. So before you start a writing session or a research session on your paper, I want you to take a couple minutes and to visualize that positive scene that you have in your head. And keep doing that all until you've finished your writing project. All right. Tip number 3. This is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache in the long run. And it's just plan at what you will write each day. So if you've been taking notes as to what you're going to have for your draft, then this is going to be very easy. It's just going to be you take out those notes, you look at them again, and then you write down a few things that you're going to focus on during that writing session. Or it could be just a few bullet points you put down before you start writing. But make sure you have a guide, because that's going to help you with writing your draft. So plan what you will write each day. And this is one of my favorite tools. It's a timer. So use a timer to help you focus with your writing. So what a timer does is it helps you hyper focus. So you reach this state of deep concentration on what you're doing for that set amount of time. I use a system where I write for 50 minutes, then I take a 10-minute break, then I set my timer for another 50 minutes, and then I take a half-hour break. And then I repeat this cycle until I've finished the work that I need to do for the day. There's another popular way people do this called the Pomodoro cycle. And that is where you set a timer and work for 25 minutes. Then you take a 5-minute break. Then you have another 25-minute writing session. And then I believe another 5-minute session. And then you repeat again and then take a longer break. But I don't follow the Pomodoro section, so you might want to look that up and search it on Google, just to make sure I gave you the right directions on that one. But timers are great. They get you centered, and they help you decide in your mind mentally, this is all I'm going to do. And you'll find that when you have a timer, you're actually more productive than if you didn't have any timer or any set amount of time where you were only going to focus on your work. Okay. All right, you've probably heard this many times from many teachers, but it's still an important tip, and it's just eliminate all distractions. So that's as simple as your phone. It's also your social media. So don't be watching me do this Facebook Live. You can always watch the replay. Shut down everything else with your social media. And then also go to a place where you won't be disturbed. So this could be in a room somewhere where no one's coming and disturbing you. It could be in the library. I found my best place where no one disturbed me was a cafe where I didn't know anybody and no one came near me. So I could write for long periods of time there. So just look around for the perfect spot where you won't be disturbed by anything electronic and any people. Okay. All right, so we've all looked at all the tips that are going to help you with planning and preparing for your writing. So now we're going to look at ones that have to do more with the actual writing. So tip number 6 is create a writing habit. The great thing about having a writing habit is that it makes writing easier, and you have less writing resistance once that habit has become ingrained in you. So a habit has 3 parts. The first part is the trigger, and the trigger is what will cause the action. The action is the actual habit, and then you have a reward afterwards, so that when you've completed that habit or that action for the day, you get a small reward for it. So for me, I do this with writing habits, and my writing habit is the first thing that I have open in the morning on my computer is a Word document that I'm working on. So I see that Word document, and that's my trigger. And then I write. I set my timer, and I just start writing until I finish my goal. When I finish my goal, I have a reward. It's usually an iced coffee or tea, something that I really enjoy drinking, and that's it. But to actually have a habit form, you need to do it consistently. So you need to do it every day. And most research says that it takes 28 days to 30 days for a habit to become ingrained in you. I like to do things in 30-day chunks. So I do the habit for 30 days. I check, does it feel ingrained? Well, then I do another 30 days. And I keep doing it because you're supposed to do a habit every day anyway. So it just takes different people a different amount of time as they're going through. Okay, and let's see. Tip number 7, write something every day. If you take away no other tips from this presentation, please take away number 7, because number 7 is going to have the biggest impact of your writing. If you write every day, you will develop a better writing skill and style. You'll expand your vocabulary, and you'll develop your critical thinking skills, which is really important with academic writing, because you'll start to think through the writing as you're doing it. So here are some ideas for things that you could be writing every day. You could do a free write every day for 10 or 20 minutes. You could keep a journal and write in your journal every day. You could also do something where you, after each class you take, you sit down for a few minutes, you write a few sentences, maybe a paragraph, summarizing what you learned. Or a variation of that is to write a few sentences or a paragraph responding to what you learned. So that would be what you think about what you learned. And get in the habit of this. Do this writing every day, because the more you write, the better you'll get at writing. Even if you're not very confident now, you'll find after even just a month, you'll be much more confident in your writing. Tip number 8 is write hot and edit cold. So when I say write hot, this really refers to what you're drafting. So to write hot, you just start writing a piece without stopping to edit and change things. So you might find that ideas are coming into your mind while you're writing that first draft that you want to change. So what you should do then is to just make a comment, either in the comments feature, or you could even just highlight and write the notes in your document that you want to change this. You could say, maybe this will go in another place, or should I really keep this? And then move on and keep writing your draft. Don't do the editing and the revising at that first point. Then you're going to take a break. A 1-day break is best. And then you're going to come back and you're going to edit cold. And this means you're going to look at your paper as if it's not your paper. You're going to make big decisions about what to correct, what you want to change, what you want to move different places. And you want to be cold and calculating when you revise and edit. They're two entirely different ways of looking at your paper. All right, tip number 9, get comments and feedback on your academic writing. So this could be comments and feedback you get in a peer revision group. So you could meet with some other classmates, peers that are in your same field, and read each other's papers and give feedback. You could get feedback from a tutor or a teacher who's helping you. But what you want to do when you're getting feedback is you want to ask the people helping you what they like about your paper, what questions they have about your paper, what's confusing, what's unclear, and you want to ask for their suggestions for improvement. And take notes on that and take all of these into account when you go to revise your writing. You'll find that if you have a tutor or a teacher, they'll be able to help you more long-term with developing your writing skills rather than just helping you on each writing project. But both are beneficial to you. And step number 10, read, read, and read academic writing. So the best way to develop as an academic writer is to learn about the academic writing style, the techniques that people use, the vocabulary and phrases people use. And the best way to do that is by reading things that come from your classes, things that come from your field of study, and then any other interests that you have. So you could be reading journal articles or books that interest you. You could also be reading professional and academic blogs in your field. Just make it a habit of finding extra things to read outside of class and be thinking about them, and make notes on what you like about a paper, what you like about an article, and anything you don't like. And that's really going to help you move your academic writing style along. Okay, so those were all 10 tips. I'm just going to review them all one more time. So 1 was set measurable writing goals. 2 was to visualize writing a great paper. 3 was to plan what you will write each day. 4 was to use a timer to help you focus. Number 5 was to eliminate all distractions. Number 6 was to create a writing habit. Number 7 was to write something every day. And remember, this is the one tip you should take no matter what. Number 8 is to write hot and edit cold. Number 9 is to comment and get feedback. And number 10 is to just keep reading academic writing. So, which of these tips do you like? Well, I want you to pick 3 of them, because for homework today, I want you to select 3 of these tips. And then with these 3 tips, what I would like you to do is to share them in the chat below, the 3 that you want to focus on, and commit to them every day. Commit to adding them into your life. And then I want you to see me, come back to me, and let me know your progress. How have they helped you? So 3 tips, state them in the chat below, please. And if you found this video helpful, please share it online and please like it. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel so you can get more of these videos. Cheers.